If you're looking for a home in the Central Florida area that is completely move-in ready, this is not going to be the video for you. If you're looking for a project with great natural lake views that's going to need some investment and/or some elbow grease, then stick around. We're going to be viewing 3 homes that sustained damage during Hurricane Ian. Everyone in Central Florida will remember Hurricane Ian for years to come. The flooding in the Orlando area was unprecedented on those early morning hours of Thursday, September 29th, 2022. When tropical storm systems strike, heavy rainfall and flooding become major concerns. But with Ian, the situation became even more alarming for some parts of Central Florida. One of those areas in particular was Geneva. Urbanized areas have limited capacity to handle excessive water, and during intense downpours, drainage systems can quickly become overwhelmed. Lakes and ponds spill over their banks, inundating the nearby neighborhoods. And in the early morning hours of Thursday, the 29th of September in 2022, the first flash flood warning was issued for the Orlando area. This was a clear signal that significant flooding was on the horizon. And as the rain persisted, the situation only got worse.
The amount of rain that we've received here in the month of September in Orlando, it's now over 22 inches of rain, and most of that occurring in the last 2 days. I don't care where you live. If you get that kind of rain, you're going to get scenes like this.
So shortly before 5 a.m., a very rare flash flood emergency was declared for portions of Seminole County, indicating that there were life-threatening situations happening. Throughout the morning, 3 more flash flood emergencies were issued. Neighborhoods were grappling with unprecedented flood levels, and water rescues were becoming more and more common. In parts of Orlando, residents faced what's known as a 500-year flood. But what does that mean exactly? Well, it doesn't mean that such floods occurred 500 years ago. Instead, it's a measure used by authorities to assess flooding risk. A 500-year flood indicates a 0.2% chance of experiencing flooding of that magnitude in a given area. Over time, that 0.2% chance accumulates, implying that a flood of such magnitude would occur approximately once every 500 years. Many neighborhoods found themselves dealing with floods that had only a 0.2% chance of happening once in 500 years, and that happened last year. As a realtor here in the Orlando area, I've been asked frequently over the past several months by buyers, how can they be sure that the home that they're looking at didn't flood during Hurricane Ian, wasn't damaged? So the first place that you want to look is on the seller's disclosure, which is usually provided in the MLS. And that's a disclosure from the seller telling the buyer everything that they know about the home. Any flooding should be disclosed on there. The second place you can look, of course, is the house itself. Water damage is usually evident by a yellow mark or a line on the walls, and by damage around any cabinets, for instance in the kitchen or in the bathroom. You can also often tell if drywall has been replaced, because when it's cut off and new drywall is added, it never quite matches up perfectly. Of course, if we're talking about a flood, it's not really something that can be hidden easily, as it's going to affect everything in the home. Finally, if the homeowner placed an insurance claim, you can find out when you go to get your home insurance. Your insurance salesperson can check for claims. So it's called a CLUE report, a comprehensive loss underwriting evaluation. So that's another possibility for you to check. With the 3 houses that we're going to look at today, though, there is no need to wonder. These were affected by flooding and are all in kind of roughly the same area in Geneva, Florida, located on Lake Harney, which is part of the St. Johns River system, the longest river in Florida, and is known for its great fishing and boating. It's a beautiful rural area, and again, this was a really unusual situation. So our first home is located on really a piece of natural Florida beauty. This isn't some HOA man-made retention pond. The yard is amazing and the view is spectacular. The house was built in 1945 and I imagine had seen its share of hurricanes, but none quite like Ian for this area. The drywall has been removed up to like 4 or 5 feet and it's ready for, well, whatever the next owner would see fit. This is a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom home with just over 2,000 square feet under air. It has a large dock with a covered boat lift, and there's also a 2-car garage and some extra storage. This home is ready for renovation. Interestingly, this home is located on 19 acres, although much of it is in the lake, but it does seem to include some pieces of islands, which is kind of cool. The asking price is $485,000. second house is located just up the road, also on Lake Harney, and this one is more of a teardown. The problem here was that the water had flooded the entire road and it stayed up for a long time before it receded. No one could get in to start working on some of these houses that flooded, and this was one of them. This one is really being sold for the land value. I couldn't even get inside as the mold is reportedly pretty bad. What I really like about this one is you also get an extra lot that's located across the street, and it looks like many neighbors have used that extra lot to build garages or storage areas. You might wonder why you'd want a garage across the street from your house, but there's really very little traffic on this road as the road dead ends just in about like 12 more houses, so there's not a lot of people using this portion of the road. It's a very peaceful and quiet area. I'm sure you'd want to put the next home up on stilts or raise the ground up quite a bit before building. The land is about 1/4 of an acre, and the asking price of this one is $210,000. Our last home is a very sweet looking and homey home with another very beautiful yard, and it seemed to me to be the most private of the three, the kind of jungle-like drive that you go down to access the home. This is the largest of the 3 homes with 5 bedrooms and 4 bathrooms and a nice in-law apartment above the detached 3-car garage. This one also has a beautiful in-ground pool. Well, it was beautiful. The power is off to the house and there's really not much to see, and I didn't go inside and I didn't go to the pool area. This home is also down to the studs, at least on the ground floor. This home has 1.2 acres of land and it's not located in an HOA, but the community has its own private runway for small planes. The asking price on this one is $550,000.
Damn, son. Yeah.
Now, I realize that a property in a flood zone area, even if the chances are generally, in a normal year, pretty minimal, it's not for everyone. If you do have questions about any of these houses or any other Central Florida property, please feel free to reach out to me. My contact information is below this video. You can feel free to email me or set up a time to talk to me through my calendar below. Thanks so much for watching.